I lay down on the couch and exclaimed and dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. It was noted my house, my dad will be home late and that I should have some ramen or something for dinner. I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just stared blankly at the ceiling without eating anything. His parents didn't get the memo, did they? It's like, oh, by the way, all these mysterious disappearances and all that, should be more cautious. Just like, no, let's just leave our son home alone until we get there later. The hands on the clock were already pointing at 10. Would I get another phone call like that today? Even though Shion had already disappeared, would she still call me? Where were they calling from? And who were they? You know what? Would have been useful, Keiichi? If shit like that does happen, maybe you could have Ooishi. You know, like, I don't know, he's had more freaking connections. Could trace the call, maybe, I don't know. That is if the call happens, but the more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. It's a phantom phone. Phantom phone call. I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I'd been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Hold on, Keiichi, my bar. Rika admitted himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot. Couldn't she have just gone to relatives that Rika didn't know about and have been there ever since? Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody, so it wouldn't be strange to think she went somewhere she usually didn't normally hide. Actually, now, when you were like that, Keiichi, it seemed plausible in a way, like, just like, if she's going into hiding because of that shit, it would kind of make sense why she'd also skip out on, like, you know, her job as well, wouldn't it? That must have been why Ooishi-san couldn't locate her and why he labeled her a disappearance. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Then my right hand moved of its own volition and slapped me on the cheek. Its cold sting let me calm down a little. Don't just convince yourself of the most convenient possibility, Keiichi, my partner. I knew I didn't want to admit she disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was the one on the phone or not. Would I ask her if she was actually Shion? That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do. Still, don't run from this, Keiichi. If the person on the other end still believed that I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage. Casually, completely casually, I would listen to what she had to say and fend her off. I would tear the skin off the monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as the last survivor of the people who went into the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. Still, then who would call me and pretend to be Shion? I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. That was definitely Shion's voice. It sounded just like her. It sounded just like a man trying to voice act a female character and doing a poor job at it. It could have only been Shion. There was someone, though, wasn't there? Someone who sounded just like Shion. Mion. Who else could have done this? At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Question about sneaking into the ritual storehouse, and how she shook the ladder while spouting curses. Who else could have? Why though? Why would Mion? I thought back to the things about the Sonozaki family that I had heard from Ooishi-san and Shion. Mion was always entangled in the instance, the position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. Courage, give me the courage. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know it will ring tonight. It would be so easy to run away. That will be the same as making it easy for them to reach me. I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. That's After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. Oh, sure, Shion will use tricky words to try and trap me. Be careful, be careful. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. I don't want to lose, 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 I don't want to do now. At that point, it rang. The phone rang and I didn't know where the call was coming from. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today, she had been calling me like nothing happened. Now again tonight, some people that disappeared, their corpses simply haven't been found. I really didn't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, then did that mean she was calling me from another world? She's like, oh yeah, Keiichi, I'm from an alternative world here. No, of course that couldn't be. A living being was calling me, pretending to be Shion. Shion was long gone, and yet as though she were alive and well. The phone continued in its incessant ringing. I didn't want to pick up if I didn't have to. I just concluded, though, that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. And what would I do after I answered it? You know what? Higurashi technically could count as like a horror. Technically it's more of a thriller, but it also has horror elements. It's like that classic thing, isn't it? It's like the phone rings every night around this time from a phantom caller. And what would I do after I answered it? Would I immediately declare she wasn't Shion and ask who she was? Alternatively, would I pretend I was still fooled and try to grab her by the tail? That would probably be the safest thing to do. What I was most afraid of was what the person on the phone would do when she realized I knew she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? I just made sure to be careful. That should be the safer option. I've made up my mind. She's freaking calling a lot today, isn't she? You should be like, oh fuck this, he isn't picking up. I made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time, though. I'd scoop her out. Who was she? What was she thinking? And what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Taki-san and Takuma-san? What happened to the mayor? What happened to Rika and Satoko? I reached out for the receiver, my arm trembling. Then she hangs up. It's like, fuck! Well, stops calling, essentially. There were too many things I wanted to know, too many things I wanted to ask. I was scared. I should start by picking up the phone. Pick it up, Keiichi! Pick it up, Keiichi! Hello? Oh, how relieved I would have been if I hadn't been a call from Shion. Kei-chan, it's me. It's Shion. My momentary convenience and above all fleeting connection was ripped into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't help shaking at this point. Get ready for this. It took a long time to pick up. I thought you went home and I was about to hang up. Sorry. I was just in the bath. Did your family not pick up for you? Could your parents be out right now, Kei-chan? I failed. I let her in on the fatal piece of information that I was currently the only one at my house. Well, no, they're not really. Anyway, have you heard about Rika and Satoko? Oh, what happened after that? Were they found? They weren't found. Kei-chan, please don't lose hope. If Ooishi-san hadn't let me know, then I might have allowed myself to shed a tear or two at Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that I had come to this, I can take her words at face value. This person on the other end of the receiver, the more perfect Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear. Rika and Satoko, they were kidnapped, weren't they? Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt. Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold? Maybe it was, I don't know. Keiichi, the first line, Shion, the other line, I don't know. The way it astonished me, and then a moment later I was overcome with numbness and felt like I would pass out. I'd asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Oh, yeah, it was, and it was the reverse of how I voice acted it. Shion in turn had answered that there wasn't much doubt. That cruel meaning behind her words. Rika-chan and Satoko were... Wait, no, that's probably her now. Rika-chan and Satoko were... Oh no, I mean, I'm sorry. About the mayor. What do you think happened after he was kidnapped? Do you think he's still alive? No, it just sounds like this must be Keiichi. Rika-chan and Satoko were... no, I mean, I'm sorry, That's the mayor. What do you think happened after he was kidnapped? Do you think he's still alive? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped? That's what I wanted to ask, but I frankly caught myself. What if she had given that question a terrifying response in such a way to sound like it had nothing to do with her? I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayor. That said, however much I talked about the mayor, I think he was killed. Hey, wait. That was quick. I think it must be really hard to kidnap someone and keep them like they are. As long as they're not hostages, it would be most practical to kill them once they were done with them. But where else had this been so much I almost lost my balance? The scenery in my eyes whirled around and around like the hands of the clock and tried to swallow me whole from below. I friendly put a hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later, a severe nausea welled up within me. How was she saying such things so lightly? Kill him so readily, I mean... Oh, shit! Kill him so readily, I mean... What's a human life for two anyway? Sort of the thing about it. I think that's probably what happened. The mayor was killed, and did mean the same that happened to Rika-chan and Satoko. I couldn't. It was some random old man. It was Rika-chan or Satoko. They couldn't kill him so readily. Whose line was that? God damn, I hate having to scroll up for you. Kill him so readily? I mean, what's human life for two anyway? Who said that? God damn! Too much distortion on your kind of meaty instruments there. They couldn't kill him so readily. I don't know who's speaking anymore. It's probably better to think that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan end up the same way. In other words, I wanted to get at least my foot back with a scream of my own. Even though it wouldn't change anything, I still couldn't help but scream. In quiet. This time the tears flowed. This music, I don't think really fits the scene. It sounds a bit over the top, like my voice acting. I mean, shit, man. I'd been confronted with the most horrific outcome that I'd been trying to avoid considering ever since last night, and I cried. There was no longer any doubt that it was my fault. I healed them like Rika-chan and Satoko. I succumbed to the weakness in my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. But you didn't necessarily. I mean, if they are dead, then... Well, it wasn't him, actually. It's just, damn it, man. That's why they were killed, and why this music is so filled with distortion at parts. I'm really just, like, rambling on here. As I killed them, when Rika-chan looked at me with those innocent eyes, if only I hadn't given in. Even my voice came out, and yet still I cried. And cried. Rika-chan, please just try and calm down. Rika-chan and Satoko has been killed. I couldn't even find their remains. Jesus Christ, this music's so obnoxious. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. If that was to be my punishment, then how brutal a punishment it was. I mean, I can imagine this in, say, a video game, you know, toned back on the distortion, and it could fit. But this is not the type of scene for that. I mean, well, it could potentially be a scene where this would be appropriate in a novel, but I don't think this is one of them. I think you need a more kind of soul-crushing, sad music. This is more intense. I mean, it is kind of, but it's a bit too overkill on the intense. I think Shion tried to come for me, but I didn't hear any of it. What are you going to gain by doing that? They're definitely going to target you and me next. Please, I'm asking you, get a hold of yourself. God damn it. Okay, it's Shion now. What are you going to gain by doing that? They're definitely going to target you and me next. Please, I'm asking you, get a hold of yourself. Please. Please. Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate the sound of that voice more and more. The Shion killed them. I had no doubts that this person killed them. Why kidnap someone and then kill them? Screw curses, are people's lives really that cheap? Raising them and killing them without a second thought like this. You're right. Absolutely right. It would take a demon. I felt like crushing a receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? That was magma in the pit of my stomach, and it felt like I was going to erupt at any moment. Hey, Shion, please tell me, why do you think Miss Ao start needing someone to die on the night of Watanagashi? That's what I'd like to know. If I know the damn project is already over and done with, haven't enough people been cursed already? Why is it? Why? There's a reason then. Say it now! I was coherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam. Ha 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 ha. No, inside of me, rushing forth when I couldn't stop them. There were not simple questions. This was an interrogation. She and herself hadn't realized it yet. It was just too funny. It was so funny that I couldn't stop crying. But not from laughter. I understand how you feel, Keiichi, I really do. The damn wars ended a long time ago. Yet murders and disappearances keep happening every year under the guise of Ooishi's curse. Why? Why is it happening? Some of them had nothing to do with this, and some of them didn't deserve to be cursed, so why? Why? That's why I'm asking you! I want to know that as much as anyone! Ha! Ha! Blue rag breaths could be heard over the phone. Okay, it's not a ha-ha, it's more like who is speaking? I don't know who's speaking because it doesn't give an indication. It's just so ridiculously loud and over the top. There's another piece of music that plays in another important scene in this as well that kind of like does not go with the mood of the scene. I'm gonna assume Keiichi. Listen, Ooishi-sama's curse never existed. It's too unrealistic. Just like you said, someone in the village is using the grand name of Ooishi-sama's curse as a justification for continuing these murders and disappearances everywhere. Watanagashi, they were cunning. They've been using that curse as a convenient tool. Made a system where they could get rid of 2 enemies in the village every year. And this year, that system killed Takuma-san and Tomitaki-san. I still can't really decide. Okay, this is probably actually Keiichi. Then why wasn't that enough? Why did the man Rika and Satoko have to be killed too? I don't give a shit about the past. The only thing I care about is why Rika and Satoko needed to be killed. Doesn't even give a shit about the mayor. Why is that? I didn't say a word to Stoker, you know. Why even her? Why? Silence fell between us. Shion didn't answer for a while. Kei-chan, please. Stop being mean. I sobbed, with Shion crying. I don't have any idea what's going on either. Everything changed when we went into the ritual storehouse that night. It was the same for me. As I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation subsiding. When I heard that Takura-san and Tomitake-san had been killed that night, I doubted my ears. Then I realized it instantly. I realized what sort of a position I was in now. I mean, this music fits in more, doesn't it? It's more sad. The four of us snuck in there. Wait, the four of us snuck in there, Kei-chan. You and I won't be so conveniently forgiven. And I thought about that. It made my chest so tight. It was so terrifying. You know that feeling, Kei-chan, don't you? There was nothing fake about her words. She even understood how I felt. That's why I confessed everything to old man Kimiyoshi. All of us entered the forbidden storehouse. It was just a little bit of fun. We knew we shouldn't have done it, but it really had just been fun. It was only a bit of exploration, that was all. They were just like urban explorers. They weren't thieves. Well, they technically didn't steal anything. Still, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Term? Trespassing, yeah, that's the one. Takura-san and Tomitake-san, who went in with us, were killed shortly afterward. They met such miserable ends. I mean, Tomitake, he barely even went in there, he just kept guard, really, didn't he? Since that day, I've been living in fear of when I would be attacked. There was nobody except old man Kimiyoshi who would help me, so I asked him to save me. Old man Kimiyoshi was mad. He smiled and said, if you're really sorry, Shion-chan, then you'll never be tamed away. He really did smile at me and told me to leave it to him. I'm not going to do the sob, though. Shion cried bitterly, recalling the beloved mayor's death. It was such a sad voice that none who heard it could prevent it from twisting their hearts. Oh, is my voice actually really that great? No. Far from it. Again, I let my emotions take over and go off at her. Shion was in the same situation as me. She should have been my one and only comrade. Thump. My heart pounded. My other self, deep within my mind, whispered to me, don't forget, Keiichi, my boy. Don't forget about the mayor. On the morning after Watanagashi, he was told of Takura-san and Tomitake-san's deaths on the phone and committed to a meeting that evening. He went to a hospital appointment. He didn't tell his family. He'd only made it back just in time for the meeting. He went straight to the assembly hall. That's what Ooishi-san said. When did you let the mayor know? Huh? I'm sorry, Shion. It must seem like I'm hitting you while you're down, but Shion, you told him, right? You told old man Kimiyoshi the mayor. Yes. When did you let him know? Eh? I began to get scared of saying it aloud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying it was contradictory, though. Besides, if there was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me. Did you know that the mayor had a severe case of hemorrhoids and had gone to hospital for treatments? Kei-chan, what does that have to... Please answer me. If you didn't know, then just say so. There was a momentary silence. Then after stammering a few times, she replied, I knew that. He had hemorrhoids. It looked like sitting down was really hard for him. You just going to the hospital. You know which hospital, right? I'm sorry, I don't know that much, but... Kei-chan, what does that have to do with... Shion didn't know what hospital the mayor went to. That meant it was impossible for her to have gone all the way to the hospital to confess everything. Since she didn't know his destination, and she obviously couldn't have seen him on the train either. there was any other chance for her to contact him, it would have been after he came to Mizawa. The train, however, had been delayed, and he only got back right before the meeting was about to start. He didn't have time. There wouldn't have been enough time for him to listen to Shion spill the beans. I want to ask you straight, Shion, when did you tell the mayor about everything? When and where? Your answer doesn't have to be precise, but please give me one. Hey Chan, why are you asking that? Her sob pierced into my ears. I was taken by the illusion that I was bullying her. Even so, I'll say it. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. Please prove to me that you're the real Shion. Okay, that's Keiichi. It's impossible. The day the mayor disappeared from dawn until he vanished, there's no opportunity for you to contact him. That's... The mayor left first thing in the morning for his examination at the university hospital by himself without telling anyone. Shion, you just said you don't know what hospital he went to, so you couldn't have contacted the mayor until he got back. Isn't that right? His train back was delayed by an accident and he didn't return to his house until the meeting was about to start. So there was no time for you to have told him before the meeting started out. I heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. It was so painful for me to say it. Shion, did you go to the meeting too? Did you attend it and tell him there? If you didn't, then there wouldn't have been any time left. After the meeting was over, the mayor disappeared on his way home. Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? The question is so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response. Actually, the meeting I don't even go to a part-time job you said you went to that day. You didn't. I'll say it more directly. You haven't been since we went to the library together. Kei-chan. Well, Shion Sonozaki disappeared the day after Watanagashi. The other end fell silent as the grave. It was so quiet that it was like the phone cord had been cut. I couldn't sense anyone there. Ooishi-san said she'd been missing. Despite that, you've been calling me every night like this, haven't you? Shion sobs were torturing me. Yeah, because they're not voice acted. It's like, oh, I can't hear her if she's still sobbing or not because you're not. I can't be honest voice acting that. I mean, I can voice act all these lines, but when it comes to like, you're just like, I can't really do that without it seeming too hammy. Besides, I gotta do it for a freaking female character. I'm a guy, man. Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything wrong. Please, Shion, if something I said was wrong, please say so. Shion, I'm begging you. Shion, there's no way you could have seen the mayor, but if you did see him, Shion never did have the chance to meet with the mayor on that day, and that meant. And you saw him after the meeting. In other words, it could have only been right before he disappeared, or else afterwards. Oh shit, those eyes. Beep beep. Went the dial tone. Jesus Christ. That freaking continuous laugh that I just did that. I know that was an intense moment and all, but I can't really. I mean, like, if I like voice acted out louder, I'd imagine my family would be like, "What the fuck are you doing in there, laughing like a maniac?" Jesus Christ! They actually showed eyes on screen. They rarely do that, where they have like something outside of just backgrounds and character portraits. I stood there dazed for a while until I realized she had hung up on me. I can't do the voice justice, honestly. If you've seen the anime adaptation, I think the voice acting does more justice, well, obviously. The animation quality, though, doesn't. It's a bit kind of like minimalistic half the time. You've received new tips from the scrapbook again at the Suzu Mahjong Bar. Exciting, tough, cold, achievement unlocked. 2 hours and 11 minutes of recording. Shit's intense, yo. So intense, we have to save over here now. Jesus Christ, man. I think there's still like maybe 2 chapters left. This one's a lot longer than Onikakushi. But I will see you next time, viewers. See you next time.